What's up, y'all? Welcome back to our 5th episode of Live, Grow, Be True. It's your boy, Cammy.
Your boy, Sean.
And on this episode, we're going to be talking about questions that some of our supporters have sent in to us on all of our social media platforms. So we're going to get into it. First question. Sorry?
So the first question we got asked was, what is the difference between sexual orientation and gender identity?
That's a good question. So, I think the difference between sexual orientation and gender identity is. So, let's start with sexual orientation. So, sexual orientation is going to be based on who you have sex with. So, you can be sexually fluid, or you can be gay with male on male. And, did I say that right?
You say with male on male.
Male on male. And then lesbian, female to female. That's going to be your sexual orientation. When I say sexually fluid, I don't want to put a label on people who are sexually fluid, because some people who are sexually fluid still identify as straight. So those can be either your straight people or your bisexual people. Those are sexually fluid people. But most of the time they're bisexuals, and then sometimes they can be straight. A whole is a whole. And then the other part of the question was saying, what was the other part?
Gender identity.
Gender identity. And that's a whole different umbrella. With gender identity, you have your base people, like cisgendered male and cisgendered female, and then
which means people who are born male and female.
Very much so. And then it goes into other things like your asexuals, transgender. That's a whole different umbrella, because that's what I think the difference between those two. Basically, with your gender identity, is something that you are choosing. Your they, thems, your he, hers, your pronouns.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So for me, I think the difference is very simple. For me, like I say, your gender identity would be what or who you identify as, whether it's female, whether it's male, whether it's they, whether it's them, just who you pretty much identify as, who you feel comfortable being called, like your pronouns.
Yeah.
Pretty much. And then your sexual orientation, I just think is very much simple as to who you enjoy having sex with, honestly. Like, you can enjoy having sex with both genders. That's fine. You can enjoy having sex with one gender. That's fine too. So, I mean, for me, is your sexual orientation is just who you like to have sex with. Whether it be a boy or whether it be a girl, whether it be a trans man or a trans female. It's just who you prefer to have sex with. And then your gender identity is just what you identify as. He, her, they, them. That's just pretty much simple to me.
Very much so true. Also, I want to say this. I want y'all to be prepared and get your seatbelts ready for next month. Next month we're doing the sex.
Yeah.
The sex series. We're going to have a sex series, y'all. I'm so excited.
So we're going to get into the
little sex. Let's talk about sex.
So
the next question we want to talk about is, what kinds of things might a person who is lesbian, gay, bisexual, or transgender go through when coming out? You have to go through like 2 of these.
That's a loaded question, because there's no right or wrong answer to it, because everybody experience is different. Some people go through hell and high waters, and then some people don't go through anything. It just pretty much depends on your family, your friends, the company you keep, whether it'll be a good experience for you or a rocky road for you. But typically everybody pretty much goes through the scared aspect of actually coming out the closet and telling people that they like the same sex, or telling someone that they're trans. That's pretty much the biggest one, and then pretty much navigating their way through life based on the reaction they get, the feedback, whether it's good or bad. After that, it's pretty much their journey and their walk, and how they move forward from there.
Agreed. I definitely think everybody has a different story to tell. We might be, got the same book, but it's definitely a different story as far as that aspect. So I can't physically tell you how it went or how it's going to go. I can tell what my experience has been. My experience, I would say, has been mostly loving and support from most of my family. So I think support from most of my family. I haven't had any issues with any of my family in my sexual orientation, so that I don't think it's a problem at all. As far as friendship wise, I would say my friends that I have now, that I keep now, they're in my corner. They're with me for whatever I got going on. High school friends, they're high school friends. They leave, they come, they go at the end of the day. But I do have another question on top of that.
What?
What was your experience like? I guess that was the question.
Well, since I had to go through being lesbian and then being trans, the coming out as lesbian part, that took a while. I didn't necessarily have to say it per se. It just, the transition of me looking and dressing one way turned into me looking and dressing another way. So it kind of was out in the open, but I never had to actually say those words. Now, with me transitioning, that's the first time I actually had to come out and say something to my family. And it was hard, even though I didn't say it to them, like to their face. I had wrote it in a letter because we don't live in the same state, but it was still hard to write and then wait on feedback.
It's a beautiful letter.
So...
Beautiful letter.
So just waiting to hear or read or listen to the responses was the nerve-wracking part. But for the most part, it was just pretty much love and support. I'm here with, whatever it is that you want to do. Just pretty much a lot of guilt because I didn't say it sooner. That kind of thing. But most importantly, it was all love. So, for anybody else, the coming out is going to be the hardest part that you go through.
In this day and age, do you think why do people have to come out? Why is that a thing? Why is that even still a thing, coming out? My brother didn't come out. None of my brothers came out because they're straight as hell. But straight people don't come out.
Yeah.
So why do we have to come out? Why is that a thing for us?
Because I don't know why it's a thing, but I feel like if you don't, then I feel like a lot of families force you into things that you don't like or you're not comfortable with because they assume that this is what you're supposed to like and be comfortable with. So if you don't say anything, it's kind of like you're neglecting or lying to yourself about who you really are. So I don't think they should have to, but I should tell you, like, no, I don't like dresses, or no, I don't like this, without it having to be, well, why not, or why I don't feel like it has to be that or it should be that. If I don't like it, I don't like it.
I don't like it.
Yeah.
I definitely agree with that statement. I mean, for sure, do it for, your own personal health and your own personal reasonings. But I think society and like social media put a umbrella. Oh, you have to come out. You need to come out. You necessarily don't need to. You can tell your friends and family, hey, I'm gay, I'm lesbian, I'm transgender, and leave it at that. Everybody else is, if you know, you know.
And if you don't, you don't.
You don't, you don't. Chuck up the deuce to them at the end of the day. What's our next question? This is good.
Let's see.
Let's rock it.
So the next one was, are bisexual people just folks who haven't finished coming out as gay or lesbian?
No. I think that you definitely can be bisexual. Bisexual people are tough. They're tough people. They are selfish people. I'm going to say that. Let me tell you, bisexual people are selfish people. I'm going to say that bisexual people are selfish people. Love bisexual people. But I don't think that there are people that haven't finished coming out. I think that sometimes it is what's the word? A gateway gay. I think it can be a gateway gay, but at most times it's not. They are attracted to both sex. They're both genders. One may be more attracted to a male or a female more. You know what I'm saying? So this definitely they're not a 50%, 50-50. I don't think there's a 50-50 in a way. Because I think I'm a little bisexual, but a little bit like.
And another comment we got on top of that question was, they said they only think the only time a person is truly bisexual is when he or she is honest with their mate.
Agreed. I think they need to be honest and open.
Okay.
Like, I don't know if y'all watched Love is Blind the first season. My boy, what's his name, Carlson?
Yeah.
He wasn't open and honest with his mate, and I think a lot of people. I think her name was Diamond.
Mm-hmm.
I think Diamond got a lot of like slack about that and a lot of pushback because she was so angry. I think the only reason why she was angry is because he wasn't open and didn't give her that option or that choice to choose if she wanted to continue to be with him or continue to seek love and things like that. So I think being honest and open with your spouse about a lot of things is the key. How you feel?
So as far like reference to the question, if a person was fully gay or fully lesbian, then they wouldn't be bisexual.
True.
So the question is kind of like, yeah. But I feel like everyone's entitled to, like I said, their sexual preference. It could be females, it could be males. I mean, you wasn't put on this earth to be like, even though people assume, well, I'm a girl, so I have to have sex with a dude. They didn't. Who said who? You can have sex with him, and you can have sex with her.
Yeah.
Like I don't see a problem with it. Yeah, if you like them both, then you like them both. But I think a lot of people have a problem with bisexuals because they aren't honest, and it gives it a bad name because you do got some who are like, well, I'm attracted to both, and that's okay. And then you have some that's like, well, I'm gonna date her in the closet, but to the world, like I'm with him.
Getting dick down.
And then you get those lesbian relationships, and you get the aggressiveness because it's like, well, you said you love me and you want to be with me, but you gotta be with him in the streets. So, I mean, I feel like it's messed up because feelings do get involved. Whether you feel like you're doing it the right way or whether you feel like, well, I like both, but nobody knows you like both but me. Because I'm the only one that's back here in the closet and you are him.
I'm sitting here looking at you.
Love him
or her. And my feelings hurt because I'm sitting back here like, dang, I'm only like a little sex whore.
Yeah.
I'm only good for your pleasure. I'm not good for your emotion. I'm not good for that. But I got more to offer.
So, yeah, so I feel like to those who are honest with their mates, kudos to you, keep it going. But to those who aren't, I would say just like sit back and think about like if that was you. So if that person was bisexual and you was like the background, you know what I'm saying? Like how would you feel about that? Yeah,
even if you can't think about you being in a bisexual relationship, think about if you were the side piece looking into a public relationship. Looking into a public relationship. That's hurtful. Very hurtful. And I think...
And, I mean, I feel like everybody's dealt with that because I feel like I've dealt with that. I've dated a girl, a few of them, who said they were lesbian but then turned around and was with dudes and turned around and had a baby. Yeah. And then multiple babies.
Definitely have been hurt by the bisexual people. For me, I kind of experienced the same thing. I was messing around with a bisexual guy. I knew he was bisexual. The world thought he was straight. And this man messed around and had a whole baby. And I was just like, baby.
And I feel like, I mean, not because it's the baby, but I feel like that hurts the most because
I can't get no baby.
I can't, you know what I'm saying? Like, I can't get no baby.
I can't get you no baby. We can't have no baby. What?
Yeah, so I feel like
I was sick.
Before anything is, just consider like everybody's feelings in the situation before you decide that you're gonna be selfish about it.
Yeah, selfish. It's not cute. It's not cute. And I think that's why everybody was like, "Ooh, by you bisexual, you bisexual." Like I said in my earlier statement, I definitely believe bisexuals are very selfish because a lot of bisexual people are so attractive. They're so attractive. And
I feel like that's why.
And they know it. And they know it. And I'm like, you know you fine. Mm-hmm. You know you fine. And you know you can pull everybody. Like, stop. Stop. Stop playing. Okay. So, next question is... What's okay? So what is your life like on a daily basis?
What is life like for me on a daily basis?
Yeah, as a queer, gay person, lesbian, transgender.
So as a person in general, life's hard. Period. As a person in general, life's hard.
Yeah.
As a black person, life's hard. Being human, being black, and a part of the LGBTQ community, life's difficult. And
stress.
Just becoming into myself, it's super hard because I'm kind of in the in-between when it comes to interacting with people and people addressing me and talking to me and stuff like that. And then I kind of have to get used to the, I guess, mispronoun. And I don't get upset, but it's just I guess it's like
it's sensitive still?
It's sensitive, but it's more so I have to be understanding. Because for the people who knew me then to now have to adjust and change, you know what I'm saying, how they address me, it's an adjustment period. There we go.
It's an adjustment for sure.
Yeah, so I don't hold it against anybody or whatever. And then I do get some people who do it by accident though. They call me sir and stuff like that, but I don't say anything and then they apologize for it. And then I want to be like, no, you had it right. But in that moment, I just don't be feeling like going through the whole loop of things with people who probably don't even care.
Get that.
Or get it. So that's pretty much what it's like for me right now. Just trying to fit into my identity, my new identity, and then also like deciding which bathroom I want to go into sometimes.
Get the pick and choose.
Yeah, so I stand there for a while and I'm like, do I want to go in here? And I'd be like, well, if I walk in there, they're gonna be like, you don't belong in here because I still have breasts and stuff. And then I go in the girls' bathroom and I'm like, well, I don't feel comfortable in here, but I have to because this is what I look like now. So that's pretty much what I go through on a daily basis. Just trying to get used to everything.
Everything? A day-to-day for me, for Cam, I think for me, like Sean said, life is hard in general. But I think as a being black and then being gay, for Sean is a triple minority, being black, gay, and trans. Me, I am a double minority, a black male and gay. So that is already hard and tough. And then I think living in the South doesn't make it any better. I'm not even going to say the South, because there's some areas in the South, like Atlanta, that is very progressive in the LGBTQ community. But other places, it's very hard. Being in Alabama, it's tough because there's not a lot out there. I'm not going to say there's not a lot out there. In my city, I would say they're trying. They are definitely trying here in Huntsville. But as far as like my day-to-day life, I think sometimes I can be too much for people, so I have to tone it down a little bit. And then there are people like, oh, Cam, you're not acting yourself. You're not acting yourself. What is myself? Let me know, because I think I think I'm a Rolodex of personality that people just don't understand me sometimes. Because if you ask me, I can fit into any crowd. Because can code switches quick. Do a code switch quick. I think life is a game. I really play the game sometimes. Sometimes I come to work, I want to have a deep voice, and I'll talk like this for the whole day. For the whole day, because you know I'm that nigga. Like, stop playing with me. But other days I be like, yes, bitch, da 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 da, boop boop, bop, all that, you know. But other than that, I don't know. My day-to-day life is just, I just play it by ear. Like, I get hate for being myself. I'm gonna get hate for being black, and that's just that on that. I don't. I think for me, if in a social setting, if we're talking about like if I go out, I feel like I get the most slack and like the most pushback from my own people, like the black community. So that's why I feel so uncomfortable in certain black clubs that's down here. Majority black clubs. Like I just don't feel comfortable in those settings. So I feel more comfortable with the white people because they gonna party. They gonna party and they gonna compliment me on everything I got on. And then, like, if I go to a black club, I gotta look like a whole nigga. And I'm like, I be in there thugging with my... So that's how I feel about it. I don't know. Socially, I don't think I mesh well with the black community because I think they think I'm a little too much. And that's okay. But also, I think with the black community, they're more accepting of lesbians and studs and female to male than they are with hyper feminine males and transgender male to female transgender women, and that's sad to say, but I think that's our reality. Our next question: what is the biggest or most common misconception about trans people?
I think the biggest or common is people assume that trans people don't like how they were born, or they just want to be a guy or want to be a girl. I feel like that's the biggest right there.
That
they just you just want to be a boy or you just want to be a girl. Like they don't think about the emotions and what people go through.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying, internally to decide that, you know what I'm saying, that's how they feel and that's what they want to do.
Yeah.
And then that also goes into another comment we had got on our video. One of our supporters said, my question would be, is what's the reason why more people are choosing to transition instead of just live as who you are and the gender you were born into? And like I said, that goes into people just assuming that you don't like being a girl, so you want to be a guy.
Yeah.
And for me, it's deeper than that. It's you looking in the mirror and not liking what you see. It's you not being comfortable in the clothes that you wear. It's you not being comfortable with your female or male body parts that you don't like. Like, it goes deeper than, well, since I was born a girl, I need to just be comfortable in the gender I was born in. And I feel like that's the biggest misconception right there, because if it was you, like, would you want somebody to tell you, like, well, just be with the gender you was born in?
I think that's the problem with some people, that they're quick to say or correct things that they wouldn't even fathom thinking. Like, oh, you should, be happy with doing this. You should be happy with doing that. But if somebody told you to be happy doing something you did not like, you would try it in your heart to change it or make it some way, somehow for you to like it or comfortable for you. I think that's across the board. I can't personally speak for the transgender community, but as an ally for the transgender community, I think that another common misconception is that people don't take the time. I don't want to say a common misconception. Let me backtrack a little bit. I think that the problem is with people that they don't take the time to understand. If they don't take the time to listen or communicate or talk to somebody who's going through these things. If you sit and listen to them, you like, oh, okay, or compare it to your day-to-day life. If I don't like oranges, I'm not going to eat the damn orange. Period. So why try to dictate or judge somebody off of their personal feelings? That's what I don't understand why people do. Because for me, I think it's a form of body dysmorphia. Stop me if I'm wrong. I feel like it's definitely a form of body dysmorphia. And we don't judge people who are anorexic,
right,
for their body dysmorphia, or people who go to the gym consistently because they consistently think they're fat. They don't judge people for their body dysmorphia. But yet we have this one community that struggles with body dysmorphia, and we give them so much pushback instead of opening your arms and giving them love that they need. And that is one of my biggest pet peeves, that people don't take the time with anything, even with like culture, with gender identity, sexual orientation, all these questions that these people ask us today. I think that if a heterosexual person took the time out to ask these questions to their loved ones, or listen to the people in their work,
just
at their
anybody
jobs,
in general,
just listen.
There will be more people here on this earth than more people not wanting to be here.
Very true. Very true.
And not to say that person meant anything by it, but it's a lot of that kind of thinking that makes people feel like they're hated, or that
they're not loved,
or wanted on this earth.
Yeah, I'm not 100% sure who answered the question, but we say here and said that's a really good question. This is a good question, and I think that this is what we made this platform for people who don't understand, who are willing to understand. And
it took me 28 years to understand.
Yeah, it's not. They didn't build Rome in a day. They did not build Rome in a day.
So I mean, before you judge or assume, or my advice to anybody, just before you judge or assume or just think that, well, you don't want to be this, you want to be that, just take the time to listen, research, and understand like what it is that the individuals go through who are experiencing these thoughts, or who are going through a transition, before putting those kind of negative thoughts and vibes into, their life. And for me, it took me a while to understand that for myself. So I completely get it, because I wouldn't say I was well educated on it or anything like that, because I didn't know what I was feeling, but I just know that I didn't feel like me.
Yeah. You didn't feel comfortable in
so
what you saw, your exterior.
Right. So for me, I knew that this wasn't it, and I knew that when I never looked in the mirror, I know that what I feel on the inside doesn't match what I look like on the outside. And for me, I wanted to match. And I feel like once that happens, then, I'll be able to truly be happy. Which goes into me saying that on March 15th, next Tuesday, I will be having top surgery. So,
yes, congratulations.
I'm excited about that. I'm anxious. I'm ready to get over with, but I'm ready to finally feel free of these.
Come on, breast.
And yeah, I'm just ready to finally feel free to be me, the person, who I wanted to be, the person who I feel like on the inside. And yeah, I'm just excited.
What do you think, how do I want to answer this question? that moment you look in the mirror and you see that your inside matches your outside. What do you think's gonna happen? What are you gonna be crying?
I don't know, but I'm excited for that moment. I do think I'm gonna cry because it's been something I wanted for so long. Yeah, I think tears is gonna be the first thing that I do, but more so relief and happiness.
Yeah, that's the end goal for everything. Everything, I think the end goal for life is happiness. And I think happiness over success, to be honest, if I'm happy in my life and I'm happy where I'm at, of course there's always room to grow.
Right.
But I don't need anything else. But my happiness is where I keep everything. And I'm excited for you. I'm excited to be here on this journey with you. I'm excited to have a new, family, I guess we can say. We call y'all some family, to join us with your journey and even my journey as a person, because life is going to be very interesting. How do you think your life is going to change? Your day-to-day, let's go back to that question. How do you think but we're going to reword it. How do you think your day-to-day life is going to change?
I don't know. I think it'll make me feel better in the sense of how people talk to me and refer to me and just pretty much, look at me. I think it'll, not to say it'll be, life itself will be easier, but for me, it'll just be just a glimpse of, like, relief and, you know what I'm saying, just a little bit
a lot of weight off your shoulder.
Yeah, literally.
A little. Literally some weight off your shoulder. You're like, whoo, sinner, gravity all messed up.
Literally. But if I can leave you guys with one thing to think about and know, I would say just to love and listen and understand before assuming. That'll be my word of advice.
Agreed. I don't think I have no words of advice right now. But I will say this. If y'all want more questions to be answered, all of our social media handles is Live, Grow, Be True. You can hit us in the DM. You can tweet us. We'll if you want your answer to be, answered right then and there, shoot us a tweet or shoot us a question on Instagram. We post it in our story.
Or comment on any YouTube video or DM my personal page. We do have a LINKTREE that links every single platform. So you guys can go there and check it out. We just want to thank you guys for listening, for understanding, for watching. That wraps up episode 5.
It does. Also, I want to say this. So I looked at we've started this, 3 weeks ago?
3 weeks ago?
3 weeks ago. And I know this is a small milestone, but I love milestone. I think we need 7 more people the last time I counted, and we'll be at 50 subscribers. And that's a small milestone. We only
3 weeks, yeah.
It's 3 weeks. I mean, I'm proud of us. And I'm glad we have you all to grow with.
Thank you guys for sticking with us, for listening, for watching. And remember to live, grow, be true. You gotta be safe.
Bye.